Hi there, welcome to Seriously Planning, a weekly booktube show. I just uploaded a video today about a great book that you should read called Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged by Aisha Malik. And I wanted, because it's Ramadan right now, and it's that time of year where lots of people who are Muslim and lots of people who aren't Muslim are wanting to find books with Muslim characters. And so I thought I would share my 5 favorite books with Muslim female protagonists or Muslim characters that I think are very, very worth checking out. So if you're looking for a bit more diversity in your reading list and you're wanting to learn more about Muslim characters, these are 5 excellent books to check out. So the first one is called Onion Tears by Shabnam Khan. It's a local South African book. Shabnam is a writer from Durban, and it's a book about 3 generations of women, a grandmother, her daughter, and their life and loves and losses over the generations. It's an incredible book. I read it last year and I recorded a podcast about it, which I'll link down below. And when I read it last year, I had just moved to Johannesburg, and I loved how in this book there was no descriptions of Islam. They didn't have to explain that Islam was something of 5 pillars, that Muslims pray, that Muslims fast. The characters just were Muslim. Like when you read a book with, white characters, and they just are the background that they are, and you don't need to explain a lot about their history or their culture. This book was like that. They went to grocery stores that I was now going to. They were walking through neighborhoods that I am now familiar with. They were living their lives and describing experiences that were different and not tinged with Islamophobia. And it's an incredibly beautiful, moving, stunningly written book, and I highly recommend it to everyone. It's available in the Kindle store, and that's how I bought it. The second book that I would recommend is Painted Hands by Jennifer Zubair. Jennifer is a US writer, and this book is set in the United States. I read it last year and was totally blown away by this book. It's beautifully written, and it's about 4 friends and their life, their connection between each other, their relationships, and it really touches what the life of a Muslim woman can be. I mean, every character has a different experience, but though the characters aren't overtly Muslim, there are moments where their understandings of Islam are challenged, and where they meet other characters that are very practicing, and they have to evaluate their own understandings of the faith. It's a beautiful book, and I read it about a year ago, and it has still stayed with me. The third book that I'd like to recommend is Laughing All the Way to the Mosque by Zarka Nawaz. This is a memoir by Zarka Nawaz, who, if you've watched Little Mosque on the Prairie, the CBC hit sitcom that lasted 6 seasons in Canada and was, many say, saved the CBC. The CBC says it saved the CBC. This is her book of growing up Muslim in Canada and her experiences, finding a spouse, finding her feet as a filmmaker, and developing the show, and lots of things in between. It's a wonderful book. It's very, very funny, and I really liked how clumsy and accident prone and awkward she is at times, and yet she managed to find a career that she loves, a partner that she loves, and a life that is really interesting and full and vibrant. And it's a really incredible book, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed reading. It's a very fast read too. I read it over a couple of days and loved every bit of it. The fourth book is a book that I just reviewed called Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged. I have a physical copy of this one. It's right here. This is very, very funny. I'm not going to say too much about it because I just reviewed it. It's great, and I highly recommend everyone reads it. And then the final book is Cartography, which I also just reviewed on my blog. It's right here. And this book, it's not specifically about the Islamic side of the characters' lives. It's set in Karachi, so all the characters are Muslim, but Islam is not a major part of their lives. But it's about a group of 4 friends, and for one of the girls, Islam is a big part of her life, and her other friends have to negotiate their feelings and prejudices that they have about their faith and why they react so strongly as she practices her faith more and more. I think this book is just fantastic because Camille Shamsi is fantastic. And if you're unfamiliar with Karachi, if you're unfamiliar with just how diverse Muslim women can be in a country that a lot of people think has a lot of homogeneity, in its Islam. I highly recommend this book because it shows the Karachi's very diverse city. So those are the 5 books that I highly recommend. Onion Tears by Shabnam Khan, Painted Hands by Jennifer Zubair, Safiya Khan is Not Obliged by Aisha Malik, Cartography by Camila Shamsi, and last but not least, Laughing All the Way to the Mosque by Zakir Nawaz.